Now, barely a week into the job, and Zimbabwe's new president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, is already coming under fire. He's announced his new cabinet, packed with military figures and Mugabe-era politicians. It's a worrying sign for many who had hoped the new president would make a clean break with the past. This report by David Doyle from Reuters news agency.
Zimbabwe's new president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, named his cabinet on Friday. A collection of military figures and Mugabe-era politicians that could disappoint Zimbabweans who'd been expecting a broad-based government and a break with the past. Patrick Chinamasa named as finance minister. That's one of several ministerial positions he's occupied under ousted President Robert Mugabe. His role will be in the spotlight as Mnangagwa is under pressure to deliver an economic turnaround. Zimbabwe in the grip of severe foreign currency shortages that have seen banks unable to give customers cash. Two military figures have also been given top jobs. Major General Sibusiso Moyo becomes foreign minister and Air Marshal Perence Shiri land minister.
As soon as we have accomplished our mission.
Moyo was the military spokesman who went on television to confirm that the military had taken power last month. And Shiri was in charge of the North Korean-trained 5th Brigade when, in 1983, it carried out the so-called Gukurundi massacres in Matabeleland. An estimated 20,000 people were killed in that crackdown on Mugabe's opponents. Mnangagwa himself was in charge of internal security at the time, but has denied any part in the atrocities. Nevertheless, there will be speculation over whether this new government represents the much hoped-for change or more of the same.
Well, we'll try to go back to Johannesburg, where Dewa Mavhinga is standing by. Dewa, you sounded like you really are not excited about the new appointments to the Mnangagwa cabinet.
Not at all. What this has done is actually for Mnangagwa to show his true colors. That indeed he is cut from the same cloth with Mugabe. He has brought old faces to cabinet, and also I think of greater concern and worry is the appointment of two serving military generals, Air Marshal Perence Shiri and Major General Sibusiso Moyo, to cabinet with very key posts. This shows that really there is a militarization of civilian affairs, and that Mnangagwa appears to be rewarding the military for staging the coup in November. But
Dewa, I mean, isn't there a possibility that this man could have a totally different vision for the country, and that there is a precedent all over the world where a person can be taken from the military and he becomes a civilian appointee to a position in the cabinet?
Well, it's possible, but there is need to observe, the constitutional requirements to separate the military from civilian affairs. So 1 week, this Major General is announcing a military coup, and the next week he has become a cabinet minister. That raises a lot of questions, especially as he remains a serving military general who has not resigned. And so it appears Mnangagwa wants to appease the generals. It appears there is no space for an inclusive government. He has not reached out to anyone in the opposition. And we are going to elections in 2018. And the concern there is that, well, if the opposition were to win, would the military generals accept an opposition win and accept democracy? It is unlikely, because they might actually, again, intervene in politics. So we have a tough road ahead, and Mnangagwa has shown that he is continuing with Mugabe's legacy effectively.
Well, we'll check with you again some other time just to see what's the progress in Zimbabwe from your own perspective.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, Dewa, for joining us today. That's Dewa Mavhinga. He's the Southern Africa Director, Human Rights Watch, and he joined us via Skype from Johannesburg.